Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tim Meyer, here for the Romeo Sports Recap, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. And before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Romeo Sports Recap Show. I'm Tim Meyer, along with boys varsity tennis coach Matt Burr. And welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks a lot.
You are the first two-time guy on the show, so congratulations for that. The Romeo varsity tennis team had a pretty good season this year, and but before we get into the season and all that stuff, kind of explain to the folks how you rack up a win.
Okay, so when we play a team like Utica, we'll play them in 4 singles matches and in 4 doubles matches, and our team is ranked as far as the ability of each player based on where they are in their flight. So we'll have our best player at 1 singles, second best at 2 singles, 3 singles, 4 singles. Then we do the same thing with doubles. That way the teams are evenly matched as far as their second best player is playing our second best player. So if 3 singles wins, they get a point. If 4 doubles wins, they get a point. So 1 singles is not any more important than 4 doubles. Whoever has the most points that day wins the match.
I see. Okay.
Now, there's a couple other things we do. We have some tournaments that go on the weekend. We'll have like 8 teams, and it will be all the players will be put in a draw in their flights, and all the teams will go. You don't necessarily play every team or all their players. Depends if you win or lose. And the most points at the end of that wins.
I see. Okay, so you have to play a few. It's not just one set. You have to pay.
No, it's 2 out of 3 sets.
Yeah,
it's just like the tennis you watch at Wimbledon or the U.S. Open.
Yes.
Sometimes they'll shorten the 3rd set into a super tie break. That's usually on weekend tournaments or quads, but on a match that's after school, you're going to play a full 2 out of 3.
Okay. Well, let's kind of review the season. You opened up with Utica pretty impressively.
Yeah, that was a good start to the season. That was a team that we wanted to make sure that the players weren't having any nerves or anything, and so you get a team that you can beat, and we did that.
And then you had the Holt Invitational, which is a little bit of a drive from here, and you played into that, and 6th place finish out of that. Do you think that was maybe stiff combination?
Yes.
Stiff and early in the season.
Right. That is a way of us to really see what our players are capable at the time, because at the early part of the season, you can make adjustments to your squad. That's important because when you get to regionals, your players are going to be seeded for positions at regionals. So you have to establish that. So in the beginning, you're still kind of experimenting to make sure the players are in the right position. They have the right partners. But 4 or 5 matches in, you pretty much have to set your lineup. So that was unlike the Utica one was, just get one out of the way, get the nerves out of the way. This was really testing the capabilities against some of the top teams in the state. Holt's a team that we actually faced in the state championship at the end of the year. And there was, I think, 4 other teams that went to the state championships from that tournament.
So they're very strong.
Very strong. We had some good performances, and it also showed some of the weaknesses that our players had to improve on to get ready for the rest of the season.
And that was number 2 match right out of the gate, start season. And you then went to the Port Huron Northern Classic quad there, and we're champions.
Yep. It's an important one for us because Port Huron Northern and L'Anse Creuse North are both in our regional. So we had to just not only win the tournament, but we had to pretty much sweep those two teams
Okay.
so we can get positions at regional. And other than one singles, we swept every flight, which set us up nicely, as we'll talk about later.
Yeah. The Powers Catholic out of Flint Powers beat them handily.
Yep.
And then you played a tough Williamston team, which is closer to Lansing, and you tied them. How did it?
Yeah, no,
it ended in a tie, right?
they were a very good team. They were, I think, ranked 5th in the state in Division 4, and they went to the state championship. So that was a really good match for us. That was at the Romeo Quad where we played 3 teams. De La Salle was also there, which is a local Macomb County team.
And you did pretty well against them.
We did. It was 8-0 against De La Salle.
And your neighbors here, Elmont up north, they came down and you showed them no mercy.
No, we didn't. We have a good relationship with Almont. They are not as good as they used to be, but they have a brand new coach this year, so I see really good things coming for them in the future.
And then eventually losing to Stony Creek.
Stony Creek is and was the dominant team in our region. They were ranked 5th in the state in Division 1 at that point, so we knew we were gonna not do well, but we actually had one doubles and particularly did a really good job, took them to a 3rd set. But that was a team that we were just trying to get maybe one off of to help us with seeding, and we didn't quite do it, but they're pretty
good team. And
they are.
But you bounce back in the Armada, in the Armada Quad, and we're champion.
Yep. Armada was there, so was Sandusky, and Notre Dame Prep. And Notre Dame Prep came down to the very end. We were actually tied with the last match in our one doubles team, one of which you'll see a little bit later. They pulled it out and won the tournament for us.
And then a tie against Grosse Pointe North. And then you beat Eisenhower pretty good.
Yes, those are both teams that are in the MAC Red, which is the top division in the Red. Yeah, the Grosse Pointe North one, we knew it was going to be tough. We had to go down there, and we pulled out a tie. It's the best we've done against them in recent times. And then Eisenhower is not only a Red rival and our school rival, but they're also in our regional. So we wanted to really take advantage and win every match. And everyone, even though we had it locked up pretty early, every player wanted to beat Eisenhower, and they finished it
That's
out.
their rivalry.
It's a rivalry, but it also set us up really nicely for regional.
And Grosse Pointe again, but this time the University Liggett there. That was a tough one for us.
Yes, that was also that same day was Birmingham Seaholm and Ann Arbor Green Hills. So we went down there and we all had 3 matches. This was another one, kind of like the Holt one, to kind of,
good teams that you
top team
measure against.
Yes, in fact, Ann Arbor Green Hills and Liggett were finished the Division 4 1 and 2 after the championship, and Seaholm was the number 2 team in Division 2. So that was going to kind of be an early look at what states would be for us.
Okay, and Clarkston was a tie. They usually have a good team too.
It rained out that one. It was a 2-2. We didn't finish, and unfortunately, we were able to reschedule it. But yeah, it'd have been nice to be able to finish it.
It's tough to play in the rain.
It is. It's very tough
with wet balls and everything. It doesn't really work out so good. Again, Holt Quad. You came this time 2nd place.
Yes, we did. Holt Nick just got us 5-3, but we beat Grand Blanc 8-0, and we squeaked by Mason to take the 2nd place. Holt is kind of a friendly rivalry for us, another state team, so we like playing them.
And the Grosse Pointe South, again, another traditionally strong tennis team, lost to that one.
Grosse Pointe South, so that was after our good play at Eisenhower Grosse Pointe North. That was actually for the Red Championship, and and that would have been our first red championship ever. Um, Unfortunately, their singles is really strong, which is a kind of our strength also. So once they beat us there, it was kind of game over. But we ended up finishing second in the red, which is the highest the boys have ever done for Romeo.
That's excellent.
It is.
DeWitt. Uh, DeWitt is another team that's not close to here.
No, well, we have to find quality opponents. We have to travel. There's not many opponents in the county. Eisenhower's the second best team in the county. We beat them 8-0. So we really have to travel to find competition.
I mean, you beat DeWitt 8-0 too, so that was a good.
Well, yeah, but those were close matches, and Big Rapids is a very really good another state team that went to the states, and that was a battle for us.
Yeah, they give you a tough going, beating you 6-2.
Yep.
St. Clair.
St. Clair was the last team in the red. We knew, and I said the South match was for it. We knew we were going to beat St. Clair, so it was all about the South match at that point, and that was just a way to close out our season.
And then you came second place in the MHSAA regionals.
Right. So what the regionals is you have to finish first or second in the regional to make states. The way there's 8 teams at regionals. Every flight is seeded based on what you did earlier in the season.
That's why those matches earlier were so important.
Exactly. So we weren't seeded at one singles because there's a lot of onesies at some smaller schools that are good, but we were seeded second in every other flight, which just set us up. But the players still have to execute.
Yeah.
They still have to show up
Yeah.
and win the matches.
And play well.
And Eisenhower was the 3rd seed in most of the flights, and they wanted revenge. But we head-to-head against Ike that day. We beat them 4-0, and we finished in second place quite comfortably. Stony Creek, though, they still won it. They won all the flights, which is the first time in a while that's happened. But we were runner-up in 6 of the flights, which is outstanding. And again, that's the best regional performance that Romeo boys have had.
Well, you placed 17th place in the state finals. I mean, if you consider all the schools in the state that are vying to get into the state finals, 17th is pretty good overall.
Yes, that was my goal going in was 2 victories, which may not seem a lot, but compared to the competition we're playing, a lot of these guys are going to be playing D1 college. So we were able to do that, and we have the 2 winners here that you'll see in a few minutes. And we got 3 points total, which is the best Romeo's ever done at the state championship. This is the 5th time in our 40-some year that we've been to states, and that was the best performance we've ever had.
It's excellent. That's it, and for all intents and purposes, this was a pretty good season.
Is it
a season to build on? Would you consider that?
Yeah. This is a season that if this is my best season ever, it's a pretty good season. But as you just said, we're going to be much better next year.
Well, let's talk about some of the players individually
Sure thing.
that you had on the team. Brandon Apil, who's a junior. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Brandon plays 1 doubles with Drew Roth. He also played 1 doubles for us last year. He was Dream Team last year. He'll be Dream Team this year. The great thing is the improvement that we got at the 1 doubles position. I think we have 6 extra wins this year, playing a much tougher schedule. So that really set us up for success. He, of course, made it to the regional final. And they really had a great match with Rochester, who had a great doubles team. These Rochester guys were both 6'4" or something like that.
Oh,
and they were incredible serves, and we were very competitive with them.
And how about Angelo Bugli? He's another junior.
He is, and they're good buddies. He is our 3 singles player. This is his first year playing singles. He was actually Brandon's 1 doubles partner last year. And he won the 3rd position early in the season in our challenge matches. just to mention about challenge matches, to find out what flights the
Hmm.
players will play challenge matches, so they kind of determine who finishes 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's not a coach's decision.
Yes,
It's a results thing, which kind of makes it easy.
that's
You just
easy.
put out the kids, let them battle it out,
Yeah,
and
there's
everyone buys
no
into it.
subjective coaching opinions here.
No.
You know,
Angelo had a great season, especially his first year of singles, and he won an incredible 3-set match at States against a very good Rockford player.
what about sophomore Dominic Carpenter?
Dom played 3 doubles for us with Roman. He was on the team last year, but he was benched, so this is his first starting position. Dom is one of those players that goes after every ball. Is just a beast at the net.
How about Marco Domovsky?
Marco was our number one player this year.
He's a senior.
He's a senior, so we'll lose him. He was our number one last year, number one this year. It's tough being the number one.
Everybody wants to knock you off.
Yeah, and the teams that we're playing, they all have. There's no easy matches.
Yeah.
There's no easy matches on that, and he battled all through the end.
And then Brennan Doherty, another senior.
Brendan Doherty, he was our one bench player this year. We had a small bench this year, and he filled in quite a bit. I think his record was 8-2 this year, so that's pretty good for a guy coming off the bench and playing. You can always count on him to.
And then you got 3 Hobbicks. The 3 Hobbick brothers, Austin, Jaron, and Gavin. Talk about Austin first.
Okay, Austin really had the best season this year. He's played 2 singles this year. Last year was 4 singles. He had 20 wins this year. He just had some incredible matches. Again, like 1 singles, 2 singles, he has some incredible players there. He won a big match against Holt at the state championship and was one of the 2 guys that won. And I'm really excited to see what he does next year.
And how about Jaron?
Well, let's talk about Jaron and Gavin because they are twins.
Yeah.
So they're twin freshmen.
Oh, boy.
And Gavin played 4 singles for us as a freshman, which is very hard to do. And he was 22-8. Had a great year. Oh, actually 23-8 because we moved him up to 3 singles on 1 match. Great season. I think
For a freshman.
Yes, for a freshman, I think he's following the footsteps of his brother Austin. So that's a good sign.
And Gavin?
Gavin played 2 doubles this year with Cooper. He had an outstanding season also. They had a big win against Eisenhower at the regionals and made it to the regional final.
And how about Ben Hodges? He's another junior.
Yes, Ben played 4 doubles for us with Cormac, and they had outstanding. He was tied with Gavin for most wins of the year with 23. And he got a chance to play singles for us against St. Clair, and he easily won that. So.
And Drew Roth, the hockey player, he's only a sophomore.
Drew Roth is definitely a hockey player, but he sacrifices some practices through the season, so he can play for us. We sacrifice some practices for him to do it. He's a big, strong dude. He looks like a hockey defender. He does not look like. He looks like, but he plays tennis like hockey. He's all out there. He runs.
Yeah, he goes at it 100%.
Total hustler.
Too bad there's no boards around it otherwise.
Oh, I'm sure he would love
He
to
would love
put
to
some of those
crash
players into the boards.
Yeah, he's a
So-
he will be looking forward to seeing him on the ice this year too at the Mitt TV and where we broadcast some of those hockey games. Cooper Shornock.
Cooper was Jaron's partner. He played JV for us, so his first year as a starter on varsity, and he had
Just a sophomore too.
just a sophomore, young guy. He's got incredible talent. He's just got to put it together. He's a budding superstar.
And then Roman Tarnowski.
Roman Tarnarski is our other senior. He played with Dom this year, and again, those guys did a good job. You know, they won the big match at regionals to get us the point, and had an overall pretty good season. I think they were 20-13.
He's a senior, so you won't
He's a
have him
senior. Won't have
back,
him.
and then I won't have to worry about pronouncing his name next year. Cormac Young, who he was out for hockey a little bit, but then I think he got hurt, and he played tennis for you. I don't know if he's going to go back to hockey or not. But
Yeah, I don't think he'll give up. Hey, he's also a lacrosse player. He played
yeah,
lacrosse for the team last year, so he's the one of our best athletes on the team. This was his first year on varsity. He played JV last year. He also played middle school. Most of these guys, all but two of them, were on the middle school team, which is really one of the reasons that we made it so far. Is these guys have been playing for 4 or 5 years, so that middle school team really kind of is the backbone of this team.
well, is there any special memories that stand out in your mind from this year? Just something that would if somebody asks you, like I just did, what, boom, immediately comes into your mind about this
Well,
year?
obviously, beating Eisenhower the way we did, it's kind of because they have been the better team in boys and well, since I've been coaching. So this is the first time that we've beaten them, and to beat them 8-0 like we did, it just gave our guys a lot of confidence. And that's
It made him feel good about beating a rival, I'm sure.
yeah, and it's more than just beating them, but that they each won, and that we won every flight, and that
How about the quad you won?
the quads are good, but those were expected. There was no quad that we weren't expected to win. I mean, the competition wasn't at our level, so if we didn't win, that would have been a negative Mary. Obviously, um, earning a place on states during regional is big, but nothing beats the state championships. The state championships are incredible when you have 24 teams all at one location, the enthusiasm of our players and all the players, the excitement, that there's nothing that beats states. So,
Especially some good tennis if you have Division I
oh,
college
it's
prospects there.
it's great. Some of those guys give me a run for my money, so they're good. They're good.
How about next year? What are we going to see out of the Romeo varsity tennis
Well,
team
we're
next
going to see a better team, I think. I'm pretty sure. So we lose Marco and we lose Roman out of our starting position. So we're only losing 2 starters. So all those 10 guys that are coming back, they're going to work. The amount of work they put in last summer was amazing. Probably the most I've seen, and that's one of the reasons that we've been so successful is
Yeah.
the work they do in the off season. And they're going to do that. A lot of them have other sports, but come summer, they prepare for tennis.
Like some people say, well, maybe they just got lucky, but it's the harder you work, the luckier I get.
Yeah. And this was definitely, I mean, there's a lot of teams that have more high level talent than us, but I don't know if we have anybody that worked harder than us. Um, Here's another thing, though. I want to talk about my JV. Our JV was by far the best team in the county, the best team in the conference. They dominated. I've never had a JV, boys or girls, that was this competitive. We have a kid that was won singles. By the end of the season, he could have been one of my top 5 guys on varsity. So there's going to be a lot of competition for next year.
So back to the point, this season was not. This is just a building season. I mean, you've
It's
had a
just
successful season, but it's just a building. You've got things coming up.
We've got I would say probably 6 to 7 JV players that are legit varsity players already. They're going to be competing with some of the returning varsity players. They've got a shot to knock off some of the guys that just went to a state championship. On top of that, we have 3 middle school kids coming up that are all going to be competitive for the varsity team. So
Sounds like a good
it's
farm system there, feeders.
it's a great system to have.
Yeah.
A lot of the credit for the JV goes to my coach, JV coach and assistant coach Josh. He's done a great job. The middle school coach, it was me and my daughter running it. We just got a lot of enthusiasm at the lower levels coming up. So I see us being good, just not next year, but the next few years. So we're in really good shape.
That's exciting because that's something, boy, I'd love to have the highlights of that and see that happening here.
Well, you're welcome to come to any of our games.
Yeah, I definitely want to get out there to see. I'm trying to get to see everybody. I know that I think swimming's got districts coming up here, and it's going to be at Romeo, so might head out to the pool and check
Oh,
those guys out.
I have a player on that, so maybe I'll come out and do that too.
Yeah, I've been to swim meets since high school, and they had a pretty good swim team at Eisenhower when I was there, but that was way back when guys never shaved their heads, They had long hair, they had to wear caps and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway. Well, congratulations, Coach, on a successful season. Gosh, it sounds very optimistic for the future. We'll keep our fingers crossed that everything goes as planned. Come back and see us once again.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Matt.
Today I'm excited to welcome to the show. I've got varsity boys tennis teammates. We've got Brandon Apil, Angelo Bouye, and Austin Habik. Thank you guys for joining me on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Cool. So we'll just get started. If you guys want to tell me each how you got interested in tennis, when you started playing, what made you want to play tennis, whoever wants to start us off.
All right. Well, so for me, I just signed up for the summer camp, and just our coach just put me on the team. I didn't really have a choice.
Like in middle school or once you
No,
got
it
to
was
high
in
school?
freshman. Yeah, going
Okay.
into freshman year. He just put me on the team. He was like,
Great.
"Do you want to play?" And I was just like, "Sure." And then he put me on the team. At tryouts somehow I made varsity, and just
Nice.
yeah,
You're
just
just a
after
natural,
that, yeah.
apparently. Okay. Angelo, you want to go next?
So I was in 6th grade and I was eating lunch with another player on the team, Ben Hodges, and coach came into our lunchroom and he had the flyers for tennis. He came to our table and me and Ben were like, let's try it out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and I just loved it.
That's his strategy.
Yeah,
He
it
does go
works.
to the lunches. It works, yeah. How about you, Austin?
So for me, my story is a little bit more interesting. So,
Not
Coach,
getting approached
he-
by him at lunch?
he did come to my table, and I'm like, who's this guy? And I was just like really just a little disturbed, and just like I wanted no part of the tennis program. But I was in a basketball game, and one of the moms was talking to my mom about how his son was on the tennis team, and my mom wanted me to be on the tennis team, and so she got the contact number for the coach, and she texted him, and then when's like the next game, and I showed up to that game, and I got paired up with one of the JV players right now, Brayton Cross, for my first doubles match, and I could just feel just the competitiveness, and my
Yeah.
competitive nature just kind of took over, and from there I just started loving tennis, so it was just really, really cool.
Yeah. So you weren't forced by Burr, you were forced by your mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, it sounds like you were all forced into it. But are you happy now?
Yeah, I don't know where else I would be
This is a
like.
good decision. Okay. So how many years have you guys been on? So you were varsity freshman year.
Yeah.
So you've been 3 years now on the
Yeah.
team. How about you guys? Same?
I started 6th grade.
Sixth
it's been a
grade,
while.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
you came in freshman year too?
Yeah. Played a little bit at the end of 8th grade season, but yeah.
Yeah. So then you both are singles players, right?
Yeah, 3 singles.
3 singles? What are you
2 singles.
2 singles, and then 1 double.
Yeah, one doubles.
Same. I was a doubles player too, so I feel you there. So do you guys feel more pressure being singles, or do you like singles better?
I definitely like singles better. It's easier for me because the net player, you don't have to worry about hitting it there. You can just hit it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more running, but
It is a lot
I
more
enjoy
running.
that.
Yeah, okay.
For me, I feel actually less pressure. I feel like having a teammate with you, it can be beneficial. There's 2 ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
But in my terms, I can just play my own game. I really enjoy just running around the court and just
Yeah.
the competitiveness. It's just a little bit more at singles, I feel like, so.
But don't you like that, like, if it's a bad game, it's not me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Normally I don't play bad, but
It was my partner.
I like motivating them too, because like if we start bad and I motivate them,
Right.
like we do better, and then when they can motivate me too when I'm doing bad.
I feel like you would be a good doubles player, though, Austin. You've got the height. You're the type that Coach Burr would usually poach to play doubles because you've got the height.
Well, it's funny you say that because my freshman year, I unfortunately didn't make singles. I came up short in the end, and I was really devastated because I wanted to make singles my freshman year. That was a big goal of mine, but
Yeah.
it worked out that I played doubles with Bennett Hall. He was a senior last year. He graduated, and I was very fortunate. I learned a lot of useful tips that I still use in singles. I became a much better net player,
Yeah.
and we were a very good duo. We ended up winning Dream Team, which was a very good award that hasn't. Then it was like no Romeo player had ever done that in like
Yeah.
a few years, probably over 10. So it was just
Yeah.
a really big accomplishment.
Yeah. And Bennett's another. You guys were like the tall pairing. Bennett's pretty tall too. You guys.
Well, in ninth grade, I was probably only about 5'9", so
Yeah.
I really have gotten a lot taller since then.
All right.
So.
All right. So you guys finished with a was it 7-5-3 season record? Is that what we decided on
Yeah.
before this? Yeah.
Yeah.
So compared to like last season, how do you feel about that overall? Looking at this year, happy? Like,
Yeah,
better than
very happy
expected?
because we're going into it, we didn't really know like what to expect, and just like especially with like how last year like we were 1 point away from states, and then just like how it ended, and then this year
Yeah.
we had a winning record. It was very
Bit of a
nice.
comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
for you
there's
guys.
definitely some hard games in there, and so we didn't really know, like you said, what to expect, and I think we overachieved our expectations.
Yeah, I feel like the record doesn't show how just great of a season it was as a
Right.
whole. I thought we had a much tougher schedule this year. We played a lot of incredible teams that a lot of the players definitely going to college, and we competed with them. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into those matches, and unfortunately we came up short. But those were the matches that really helped us get a lot better during the
Yeah.
season. So
And you still came away with a winning record. So
Yeah,
so it's all
exactly.
good. So looking back on your year, what matches would you say were like your big ones, like your big wins from this year?
For me personally, probably against Ike, just playing them 2 times, beating them both. That just felt good doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Eisenhower stands out because they've always been the team that's our rivals, and they're always better than us, so it's finally nice to beat
Yeah.
them for once.
Oh yeah.
I would say the win in states. I mean, that was just like a really big accomplishment for me. I was really proud of myself. It just really just put like the cherry on top of the season, and it just great feeling.
Yeah. So you guys had a great result at regionals, which qualified you for states, which was in Midland, right?
Yeah.
And that was like last week. So the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
yeah, so the success is pretty like fresh. You won a match at states.
Hmm.
You guys did you win your first
I
round
won
match too,
too,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then you had a good match too,
Against
right?
Rochester, but
Yeah.
we lost.
Yeah. So was that your first trip to states for all of you then?
Yeah, I think it was it's been 10 or so years since the boys have
Yeah.
made it, so it's definitely
Did you guys have fun? It's a long day.
Yeah, it was.
If
It's a
it
lot
made
of
a lot
travel.
It was. Yeah, it was fun. Just
It
a
was
fun
fun.
experience overall.
Yeah.
It was it was just a lot to take in for sure. It was just a lot different than what we've ever experienced before, but it was just kind of surreal, and it just like realizing what it could possibly be at the next level, and just kind of the stadium, just the indoor courts, and just how just the energy was and everything.
Yeah. It's cool to see too. Like even when you're not playing, which there's a lot of time that you're not playing. I think
Yeah.
you spend more time waiting than you do playing, but you get to watch a lot of the like number ones and stuff, and like those are really good players that are gonna go college level. So it's cool to see while you're there. But I know we talked a little bit about your big matches, but to wrap it up, do you guys want to tell me about a favorite memory maybe then? Like maybe something specific about the trip to states, or like you guys went out to dinner after Eisenhower or something. Doesn't have to be from this year. Could be from any year.
Probably. Well, if you say from any year, probably last year when the little road trips.
Yeah.
Me, Angela, and our senior friends from last year, Ben and Max, we would have. Those are just very memorable. I would always remember.
We don't have to get into it. That's Angelo?
Mine was
Austin?
definitely going to states this year and winning a game, and it was just the whole day I'm there because I luckily got to buy my first game.
Yeah.
And then so I was waiting for him. We had to be there at like 7:30, and I didn't start my first game till like 5 p.m.
Yeah.
or something crazy.
That's
and just
insane.
yeah, just being in the game, and it was just
Yeah.
back and forth. Ended up going to a third set.
Yeah.
And there was times I just wanted to give up and quit, but then I would think of the team, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't let them down.
Yeah.
And I pulled through.
You did. Congratulations, because you
Thank you.
contributed to the
Yeah.
3 points that were collected. So that's a big deal.
For me, I would say 100% was that last win to put us into states, because ever since all of us were put on varsity as freshmen, there was like a weight added to our backs
Yeah.
of knowing that, you know, we hadn't made it to states in a long time, and that, you know, it was kind of like up to us to set the new standard for Romeo and just try to get us to states. And just a great feeling to finally accomplish that during only, you know, 4 years of tennis. So it's a really big moment.
Yeah, it is definitely cool. And you'll have that forever. You've got the pictures
Yeah.
from it, and you guys will get like papers
awesome.
and stuff. Yeah, it's a really cool experience. Well, congratulations on a great season. Good luck next year. We'll have you guys back on the show, and probably next year we can recap your season again. But thank you so much again to Brandon, Angelo, and Austin.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Before we continue here on the Romeo Sports Recap Show, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com. Hey, welcome back to the Romeo Sports Recap. I'm here with Madison Janabet, and kind of let you know what's going on with the other sports besides boys varsity tennis. So
Yeah.
we'll start with the Romeo soccer team, the boys soccer team. They had a pretty good season. They did lose their district game to Rochester Adams. Adams got kind of a freak goal, but to start it and make it 1-0 was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But the guys played their hearts out and couldn't manage a goal. They lost 2-0. But Joey Kasuko, the goalie, has a chance for all states. So the final record was 14-3-2, which is
that's a great season.
it's pretty darn good and one of his best seasons ever. So
And they won the Mac White title.
they won the Mac White title. Yes, congratulations to the team and to Coach Vinny Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
Did a great job. You had mentioned something to me about cross country.
Cross country. Yeah.
We just had him on, so
We did. I've read that the boys won the cross country championship. So says the internet. And I think
must be true.
they had some individual girls that won as their championship as well, not as a team. Like the boys was as a team, but the girls were individual winners. But congratulations to them, because they had a pretty darn good season too.
And the girls golf, they finished 6th in the regionals. This is kind of we've had them on. This is kind of a building year for them. They got a lot of good players coming back, at least 2 good seniors next year to anchor that team, and plenty of players on the team to fill in the ranks.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to emerge that'll really help them next year. And then the football team, it's been a difficult season for them. Frustrating in a lot of ways, but they did win their last season game and did make the state playoffs. So they're playing in the districts against Clarkston. Probably when the show airs, we'll probably have completed that game. But you know, you have to give them credit for hanging in there.
Yeah, they definitely had an up and down season, we'll say. I mean, they started the year with a lot of tough matchups. I mean, they were up there for toughest schedule, right? We had like the second, third toughest schedule in the state. So, I mean, you credit to the team for making the playoffs after facing the schools that they did.
And they beat Eisenhower, who was 8-1 to finish the season, who beat everybody else.
Tied for the title, right? So
yeah, so
it's been a mixed season.
It has been mixed.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs, and they're facing a Clarkston team that is also 4-5. So it could be a good competitive matchup, and it could be Romeo could come out of that.
Nice weather Friday too. So
Well,
take advantage of it. Go to the Romeo Clarkston playoff game.
That's where I'll be.
Yeah,
I'll be up there, and then girls volleyball.
Yeah.
11-16 on the season. They're fighting through a season right now. But they did beat Eisenhower the last time out.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to beat Eisenhower. That always puts a little extra something into a season where you're struggling. But yeah, it has been a tough year for the volleyball team. But hopefully we have them on the show.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Next week, or the next show.
Yeah.
Trying to nail down the dates because I got to watch it. But they're, we'll see how they come out. They've played some tough matches, and they are in the MAC Red. I mean, it's tough competition in the MAC Red. So hopefully I look forward to having them on the show. We can talk a little bit more about girls volleyball and swimming. They have districts starting starting October 30th.
Okay.
And
Monday.
the districts will be at Romeo High School, so you can go watch them swim.
Local.
Yeah.
You don't have to travel far to check out the team. And they've had a pretty good season too. From what I've seen, it looks like they come away with quite a few wins. I'm going to be honest. I'm not exactly sure how the swimming season structure works. So we have to have them on the show so we could learn more about their season.
Yeah, and I swim once in a while. I have a
You have a pool?
fitness. No, I belong to Lifetime Fitness, so I do.
Yeah.
That's not an endorsement.
They have a nice pool there,
They
though.
have a nice pool, and I practice, and maybe one day I'll make it into SeaWorld.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
We never know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when people are looking at it and say, he's got potential to be at a SeaWorld.
Potential. Add that to the resume.
And you, Madison Janabet, you are going through your studies, and you're also working at the Detroit Red Wings.
Yeah, tough game yesterday, but great season so far. 5-1-1. It's pretty exciting. It's I've been at quite a few of the games. It is so exciting to be in that building. Everybody's going crazy. We've got the new goal horn everybody loves because it's supposed to be similar to the one that was at the Joe. So Alex DeBrinket's been insane.
I saw Mickey Redmond.
Did the goal horn, yeah.
He did the goal.
Yeah, and I think they had Jamison Williams do it a couple of games ago, so everybody was all excited about that. But yeah, it's been so fun. Dylan Larkin and Alex DeBrinket leading the league in points. I think DeBrinket is tied with Jack Hughes for first in goals so far in the league. So that's pretty awesome.
This segues right into Romeo hockey.
Yeah, coming up.
It's coming up. We're excited about that. Hopefully we can get the coach on before the season and maybe get his thoughts and meet some of the team. But we'll be broadcasting right here on the Mitt TV Romeo hockey, so don't miss it.
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am. I like hockey too.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready to puck around.
Ready to bring out the hockey jokes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We'll develop our Canadian accents.
Yeah. Oh,
Eh?
yeah. Hey.
Well, folks, thanks for watching the Romeo Sports Recap podcast. For Madison Janabet, I'm Tim Meyer saying so long. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to this episode of the Romeo Sports Recap Show, powered by the Mitt TV. Remember, this show is available on both YouTube and Spotify. You can subscribe to the Mitt TV YouTube page and click the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Romeo Sports Recap. Or you can find us on Spotify and follow our podcast, Romeo Sports Recap. From the Mitt TV, I'm Tim Meyer, signing off with a final word from our sponsors. This podcast is powered by the Mitt TV of Romeo, Michigan. If you're looking to start a podcast for your business or personal use, look no further than the Mitt TV. They can get you access to equipment, a production engineer, and even edit your podcast. That's all right here at the Mitt TV of Romeo. And you can contact them right now via email at mitt.tvromeo@gmail.com.